All right, now you just got to look at what's coming to Aliens Fireteam Elite. And join me right now to break down what gamers can expect is one of the founders of Cold Iron Studios, Craig Zinkovich. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, I'm talking games with you. Anytime I get to talk about games, I'm super excited. Now, we're going to dive a lot deeper into things, what we just saw, but give us a basic overview of the Pathogen expansion.
So Pathogen expansion is the first paid expansion for Aliens Fireteam Elite. It comes with tons of stuff. It's got a brand new campaign that takes place right after the 4 campaigns that are in the base game, carries on the storyline of the crew of the Endeavor. It's got new abilities and powers for each of the kits. It got new weapons, new enemies, new cosmetics, tons of new stuff. And it all comes with a free hardcore mode as well.
Ooh, wow. Now that was actually one of the questions we were going to ask you before, but I kind of want to talk about it right now. Tell us about the hardcore mode.
So hardcore mode is awesome. Aliens Fireteam Elite is not for the faint of heart. Obviously, there's the normal difficulty. There's casual difficulty for people who just want to get in and experience the story. But it's a survival co-op shooter. It's Colonial Marines, it's Xenomorphs, you've got to be on your toes. And one of the things that we've been working on is the hardcore mode, which is, it's permadeath. It's permadeath for the game. You start a character, you get as far as you can. If you die, it's over. You get to keep your unlocks, you get to keep your currency so you can buy those weapons that maybe you earned with that previous Marine, but every time you die, you gotta start over. Each mission that you play, you open up harder difficulties, and you can see whether or not you can get all the way up to hardcore 50 without having died. So it's a pretty exciting permadeath mode for the game.
Oh my goodness. It's going to take a lot of training for anyone to get to that, I'm assuming. Like to get to 50, level 50?
Definitely. 50 is crazy. Currently, we have difficulty levels that go up to insane in the normal game. Hardcore 50 is even harder than insane. It's going to be really, really difficult not to take a full, very coordinated fire team group of your friends in there and still not get annihilated.
Now, the Season 3 Lancer went live back in April.
Yep.
Now, bringing with it, of course, like a bunch of free additional content. We're talking about a new class kit, loadout presets, challenge cards. How do you think this new expansion will complement or enhance what you and the team's done previously?
Oh, sure. So since August, since we launched the game, we've been working on it. Yeah, as you said, Season 3 came out in April. We had Season 1, Season 2. We've added multiple new class kits, a lot of new content, systems, quality of life features to the game. Season 4 is even coming out in July before the expansion comes out. We haven't announced everything that's in there, but crossplay is going to be in there. Looking forward to getting that out, letting people team a little bit easier before we get the DLC in August. And all of that leads up to the new content, to the new storylines. Obviously, the expansion also has tons of new weapons, tons of new attachments. The expansion also has new, perks, new power replacing perks, which are basically abilities for each of the classes that we've launched since. So really, this year has been kind of building up all of those new additional things so that the expansion can be that, capper right at the end.
That's so awesome to hear that, before we even get this expansion that we're going to get another season. That's so great to hear. Now, so Aliens Fireteam Elite has been out for about almost a year, about 9 months. What have you and the team learned in this time that's led up to this new DLC release? Like, what are fans saying?
Oh, I think that the core fan base really, really likes what we're doing, but they just want a whole lot more. And that's what we're trying to do as much as possible. Small indie Cold Iron Studios here working on such a hit game. It's such a fantastic honor to be doing this. And the whole team is working as hard as we can. So as I said, season after season, adding new things to the game, making sure that crossplay gets in there, which is one of the things that the fans have been asking for. And then the cherry on top is more story content. They love the characters that we created, the crew of the Endeavor. They want to see what happens on LV-895 after you've destroyed the Katanga. And so really being able to do that and provide that for the fan base is something we're super excited about.
Yeah, and what I love is, because you and I talked about this off camera, is the fact that this takes place years after the movies, correct? Yep. So you're not beholden to, we're playing within the universe of Alien or Aliens or Aliens 3, where you all are creating a new, new lore I guess,
Sure.
would you say?
Yeah, it's a cooperation, obviously, with Disney and all of the other, extended universe properties, the novels, the comics, stuff like that. But it really is an honor. It really is a privilege to be able to kind of add things to this universe that we're just amazing fans of. And so it's a labor of love for us to be able to play in this universe, and we take that responsibility extremely seriously.
Now, Craig, we're gonna queue up some video for you to kind of just walk us through.
Cool.
But before we get to that, can you give us a breakdown of some of the new weapons we can expect to see with this DLC?
Tons of new weapons in the Pathogen. One of the things that I'm really excited about, we added a new weapon manufacturer, Alpha Tech. It's one of those things that is in kind of the extended universe. The lore shows up in like older comic books and some other games, but kind of expanding on that, there are a bunch of weapons from Alpha Tech that we're adding to the game. I think one of my favorites is there's an SMG that acts like a shotgun, and so it's like the fastest firing shotgun possible. That's kind of the dev team right now is having a really good time using that.
That sounds freaking amazing. Now, okay, Craig, so booting up the game, what are players going to immediately notice pertaining to the Pathogen update? Like, is it just new content, or will we see like any new unique weapons, aliens, or system overhauls?
Sure. So the expansion comes with, pretty much the gamut of everything. Not only does it come with a brand new campaign that has new maps, new storylines, new locations, new enemies that show up in there, it also comes with, new weapons, loads of new rewards for the players to earn. So, dozens and dozens of challenge cards, weapon colorways, kit skins, hats, decals for your weapons. Tons of stuff that's going to show up in there. And then hardcore is going to be there for everybody, whether or not you've bought the expansion or not.
Woo, wow. Okay, now tell us a little bit more about the campaign. Like, have you guys like revealed like how extensive it'll be? Like, how many hours would it take for someone to complete? You don't have to specifically say how many hours.
Sure, it's hard with a co-op survival shooter game.
Yeah.
It depends on what difficulty level. If you're going in casual, you're going to just take your time and kind of enjoy the storyline. But if you're going to play anything normal or higher, there are going to be deaths involved. It's going to be pretty difficult until your team gets to the point where you can get through there. So counting hours is a little bit more difficult. But it adds a whole nother campaign, 3 new missions. There are 4 campaigns in the game right now, so you can kind of, mileage may vary whether or not you're playing extreme, insane, or casual to see how long it takes you to get through all that cool storylines. But there are a lot of cool new mechanics in the new missions where adds more replayability. There's places where the map topography, the paths that you take through the maps changes each time. So I think that there's some new things in there that adds to the replayability that the base game has with the challenge cards and the difficulty levels and everything else as well.
Now we talked about this off camera. Like we're both huge sci-fi nerds. I can say that. I can say that as a nerd. I can say we're nerds. So I kind of want to talk more about what this is based on. You all are introducing new storylines to the Alien universe with this expansion. What is it about the franchise overall do you think makes it so unique and prime for such exploration in the Aliens narrative and lore?
I mean, it's just such a storied franchise. It is, if you look back, it really is the first. It's really the first Space Marine story. That's Aliens, right? I think that there's the typical fear of the darkness in space, right? And Alien captures that in that core, horror aspect of it. And then Aliens just kicked it up a notch with the action movie aspect of it, bringing the military out there, and still space and the universe is terribly scary. And there's just so many storylines since then, all of the comics, all of the novels, all of the different action figures and whatnot that have come out that just really captures the fans, and our dev team's imagination into what this universe can do and kind of the tropes and storylines that can be told there.
Yes, we talked about this off camera. We did a lot of talking off camera, and
it's hard not to.
I keep saying that. Yeah, of course. I mean, like, again, when you're talking about something that that you're truly passionate about, you're gonna want to ramble about it even before these cameras turn on, and that's exactly what we did. I know the game is still fresh, it's still new, not even a full year just yet. But I'm already, again, because it's the fan in me, I'm already hoping that we see the Predator at some point. Alien versus Predator. You don't have to say anything, Craig. Do not say anything. We have his entire team right over here, so
nobody's going to let me say a thing.
Anything. Yes. Now I got to say this. What I love about this game is in relation to the movies, it doesn't just reference the Aliens films, but the prequel as well, Prometheus, which is a great way to introduce us to a different type of enemy in the universe created by the movies. What can you tell us about the pathogen brute and other enemies of that sort?
Sure. So, I mean, the pathogen is the thing that showed up in Prometheus, right? It's that black goo. It's the mutagen. And in the base game, there are a few pathogen enemies that you run into. You run into the black goo. You run into humans that were turned into husks because of the black goo. In Pathogen, Xenomorphs got into it, right? So you can imagine what these mutations do to the apex predator of the universe, perfecting, corrupting them. And so the brute is one of the new enemies, a bunch of new enemies within the game that show up within the pathogen expansion. And the brute is what happens if a drone or a warrior kind of gets exposed to this and becomes this hulking beast that you just have to really, really fear.
Yeah, and we won't have to imagine what that'll look like for too long because the DLC is dropping August 30th.
August
correct?
30th, yep.
Yes, August 30th. Thanks to Craig for giving us the lowdown on the new DLC release for Aliens Fireteam Elite. Now, the game's out right now, so y'all should be playing it, and you can catch the DLC come August 30th.